Hello everyone, Raj here from Raghav Refines. This is 5th or 6th edition to Principles of Freedom, and today's video will be simply talking about seek alternative education. Now what does that mean? We'll go in lengths, so buckle up and get ready. If you haven't watched the first 4-5 points, I guess first 4 points, you really need to go now. So see those videos first and then come to this, because nothing will make sense to you if you don't know the first 4 points. All right, because they're all interlinked, they all connect to each other in a way, and the more clarity you have about first 4 points is the only way you'll know how this will work. Our 5th point. Let me write that clear, bold. Seek alternative let's close this door, education. Now what does this have to do with freedom? You remember how I told you to build your own infrastructure in second video? The reason I said that was because public infrastructure is failing. And you know what else is part of public infrastructure? Schools. Government tells what your kids will learn. That's a public infrastructure. And this is failing too. So you need to seek alternative education. You know, the curriculum taught in school comes from government, and the government doesn't want you free. Remember that. Sometimes I wonder if I should talk about these issues out loud. Hopefully I can make some change in the society. That's the goal here. Become the bigger ripple, they say. And at the same time, when I realized all these things, a light bulb went in my head. And unbeknownst to many, I myself come from decent backgrounds or backgrounds of no real knowledge of how world functions. And when I first figured out how our society is so crippled in so many ways, I had this moral obligation inside to come out and teach, because this is for me a very uncharted territory. Talking to camera on the tripod, thinking this is public, but I'm still doing it because this is fun. Like I said, back to the point, seek alternative education, because schools are failing. They're not teaching anything of meaning. They're not teaching for you to become free. They're teaching for you to become slaves. Remember that hamster wheel? Schools will make you a good rat in that hamster wheel. A rat that obeys. A rat that does not try to get out of the hamster wheel. So there is a big conflict of interest. Oh wait, did I step on my light? Yes. You know how we also talked about clarity? When you have enough clarity, you'll be easily able to identify conflict of interests. And this is very important. And now I'm about to say something that will make you question why are you watching these videos, but hear me out. Conflict of interest, COI. Remember that. Try to identify. Does school benefit from you being free? No. In fact, they're benefited from you to be a slave. Now, slave means you're working 9 to 5, working till 60, have a mortgage, have bills. That's what school benefits from, because that's part of the infrastructure. That's part of the public infrastructure that wants you to rely on the system. So that's a big COI, conflict of interest. They don't want you to be free. They want you to be slaved. Second conflict of interest. Now this one drops. Okay. First one, schools. Now look what I write. Now this will affect a lot of people. How can I say such a thing? And I also said, hear me out. So hear me out. Parents intrinsically want you to be safe. They want you to have a safe future. Now tell me if I'm wrong saying that. They want you to have safe future, right? They're protective of you. So out of fear that you don't hurt yourself, they're protective of you, and then they don't want you to try risky ventures. They don't want you to try risky ventures because they're protective of you. They don't want you to follow your passion because they want you to have a secure future. Ration. I write ration, no, passion. You see where I'm going with this? Now, my friend, I'm not telling you to disrespect someone, and especially your parents. I'm just telling you to question conflict of interest. See where conflict of interest lies. If they're protective of you, they want you to have a safe future, they'll instantly push you into this. Unknowingly, they're only doing it out of love and protectiveness. They're not doing it out of any greed. Their only motive is to be you to be safe. So that's a big conflict of interest you need to identify. And they're also programmed by society. I had to throw that in. I had to. They're heavily programmed by what society says. If you identify conflict of interest with full clarity, you'll be able to achieve your freedom much faster. Because the moment you know this, you'll seek alternative education, and that education will add value. You'll learn a skill or two that helps you break this hamster wheel, because school doesn't want you to do shit. School wants you to be the part of this. Let's wipe this down. I hope that makes sense. Let's keep our conflict of interest alive. Because I want this to burn in you so that you have an imprint. Why don't we learn anything from school? Because there is a clear conflict of interest. You see? Adding on to the point further, we all have internet. In fact, you're watching this video on this thing that we invented that connected the whole world in a way we never thought. Now, this internet has given us very valuable things, but we humans find way to use this valuable thing in wrongful manners. And now why I'm saying this? Because the internet can help you find mentors. With this thing, you can connect to rich people. With this thing, you can find mentors that can allow you to learn things, that can teach you things, that can teach you valuable lessons, how they got where they are right now. But like I said, internet comes with its own flaws. Another flaw is clowns. Internet is full of mentors and clowns. More so of this than this. we often mistake ourselves thinking that we are following someone that is adding value, and usually they're just jumping around like a fool, like a jackass, teaching you nothing, and that's who you follow. Now I get it, they're cool, they're charming, they have charisma, and they do some things that make you follow them, but use this in your benefactor. Oh wait, use this in your benefit. Find real mentors. Find real mentors that add value. You learn a skill. Now, how do we identify between real mentors and clowns? The problem is the way internet compensates clowns. It seems they are adding, I don't know, content that doesn't teach you anything, but internet rewards these clowns for teaching you nothing. So identify who you follow, why you follow them. Subscribe my channel, because I'll be teaching you good stuff that will make you learn things, that will allow you to make your freedom possible. Now, mentors are someone who add value, skill. The easiest way to identify mentors is someone who has achieved this, not through internet, not through internet. Remember, very important point. Any mentor that you have, the best way to know if they're real or not is to identify how they made their money. If they made their money through other sources, let's say finance or something, lawyer, something else than internet, and now they decided to come to the internet to add value, those who are real mentors. Find mentors around in your city. And you know what? I found this in humans. Humans who have done something of value in their life, they like to share it, especially as they get older, because they know their time is limited and they need to pass it down before they leave this beautiful planet. So I genuinely think everyone likes to share knowledge. I genuinely believe in that. If you learn something new, next time, if you learn something new, you'll 100% tell your inner circle. You'll tell your friends what you learned new. So, mentors will teach you, and they want to teach you, not by selling courses or anything. That's totally different. That's just other people scamming you of money. For the most part, not everyone does that. Find mentors, not clowns. Clowns doesn't teach you shit. They'll only be jumping around, making some pranks. I don't know. Calling my fake girlfriend. No, wait. Yeah, taking my girlfriend out with my parents. This is all fake. This is all buffoon. I don't know if that's a real word, but I made that up. And with that, this sums up our fifth point. Seek alternative education, conflict of interest, find mentors. If you follow this point, this will speed up your process of freedom. If you go through regular education, regular society program or social programming, it might take you years. You can shortcut. There are some shortcuts that you can take, and that is seek alternative education and find mentors. And with that, that was our fifth point. I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.